Alright, hello. This is the ultimate bad game MMO, but I'll stop playing that now I'm live. Alright. It's time for Baby Coyote. The plot in Baby Coyote comes in through the intro, so you cannot have the game started. You have to boot up the game from Steam if you want to see what's going on. Let's go ahead, enjoy the plot, really get into the Baby Coyote cinematic universe, and then we'll go ahead and get started. King Tiger, thank you, General Warthog. The Dark War is over. So, you might be noticing some things about the art. Yeah. So I'll give the Baby Coyote context as we get through these early lines of dialogue. This is a free game on Steam. I believe it was found last year, and just kind of made its way down, like, I'd say the bad game chain, where like somebody would say, wow, I was watching, I think I heard it from Great Gildersleeve, was watching this really bad game. And then I watched it and played through it, and somebody watching me also played through it. And then I kind of went doubled down and really went for the strats, really went for the Baby Coyote speedrun experience. So I want to say I love this game. And let's get started. Let's go 3, 2, 1, go. If I can press the new game button. There we go. It's actually really hard to do, and I don't practice it because you don't start the run very often, so whoops. Alright, welcome to Baby Coyote. First, we got hot beats. That's the most important thing about this game. I love the music. It is primarily from the Turks and Caicos Islands, which is very specific, but comes into play, believe me, it comes into play. Controls are pretty basic. This first level has no enemies, so our attacks don't matter, but we can move, we can jump. We have this attack here. It doesn't disappear. It keeps on going. And we have this attack here. I don't know what that attack does. I've never been able to get it to do any damage. It seems to have no hitbox, and you can do both attacks at once, and it's very fun to do and spam, and just kind of headbang a bit. Anyhow, like I said, the attacks don't disappear, and they have unlimited range, and they move slightly faster than you. So guess what? Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna clear out enemies as needed, starting from the beginning of the stage. There is no unloading or loading of enemies. Everybody's just always there, and enemies take quite a while to die. Most enemies are one shot, but they have a death timer. You'll notice the cats are like bombs, and so they get hit and they detonate. They don't explode or anything, they just kind of disappear. But that's how they're all sort of programmed. Like an enemy, oh my god, I missed a jump. Well, we gotta see the the game over screen, which we'll see a couple times on purpose. That was me thinking about commentary too much and forgetting to hit space at the apex of the jump. And the other thing, I don't know if you've noticed, is that when I'm jumping, you can jump on the air above the ground. So like, I'm not really on the ground. Oh, I got him. I bounced him up. Cool. I'm not really on the ground for a lot of jumps, and so this is hugely important to the game. I don't know if it'd be beatable without it. There's a lot of parts of the game that I don't know that are, quite frankly, not beatable even with the normal game mechanics. So this is a lot of the platforming. It's kind of managing your movement and learning how to actually move around the air. So for example, you want to turn around a lot because it changes the hitbox. And it's actually easier to do those air jumps from the side. Don't hit that teleporter. Also, you can climb up walls, which is very important. All right, this is my favorite stage because I think it kind of shows sort of the direction the game could take. I kind of messed up and I'm a little scared about those bombs, so I had to wait for them to land. But there's instructions, like this is a mobile game, so I don't really know why, because this is, first of all, the third stage, and also, I don't know, these probably belong on the first level and probably don't need to be explained all that well. It's pretty clear for the most part. The controls, aside from the button that has an attack that doesn't do anything, don't really need a lot of explanation. So it's kind of fun to see here. And then also, like, I wondered what was the overall plan with this. Was this going to be a mobile game and then end up just being PC? And they had this level in mind, but yeah. So that was actually one of the first kind of big sequence skips. We had one last level at the very end. The early levels aren't really designed with wall jumping in mind. Oops. Okay, so we're able to get through a lot of stuff just by kind of going up. Here's the first boss. This is the girlfriend of Fat Cat, who we heard discussed early on. I want to kind of get stuck in the wall by her. Let's see if this happens. It did not. It was a little annoying. I'm gonna take this save just because this is actually the most random boss. And if you try to fight her head on, it's very risky and very easy to die. Every other boss has an easy setup. This is the one where, like, yeah, it can go wrong. So we'll just go ahead and do this a little bit traditionally. I think it's for the C traditionally. You're just supposed to jump over the boss, and then really just mash the button as you're getting chased away. It's also very random because the boss has a little robot dance, and so she doesn't do it consistently. And because of that, sometimes you get really hard boss fights like that. Sometimes it's very easy. All right, that is Plush Plaza out of the way. We got Color Away coming up. This has the first damage boost. Ooh. And the only damage boost. Ooh. So, in terms of like physics and mechanics, this game doesn't have a capped speed. You'll notice on some of the bouncy platforms, which were in the boss arena, I can go pretty high pretty quickly. So like that one jumps quite a bit. Now let's go to another one here, and it sends you to the roof. This is risky. Okay, cool. So that cat there is an insta-kill and takes 3 hits to die. So it's very important to try and go for the damage boost there. If not, it ends up taking quite a bit longer. This is also the first death warp. So I hit the level, the end of the level flag, or I did not apparently, so I have to do it again. This is just me train wrecking at this point. It's too early in the morning. I'm gonna make every mistake I can. Frankly, they're not new mistakes. I'm just tired. But yeah, so the way the level ending works, and that's actually very important for other levels in the run, is when you hit the end flag, it sets everything to the next level. You don't need to go ahead and like wait for the level to end. It's just faster to do that than the menu navigation, because the menu navigation in this game's not particularly good. There's no hotkeys. You have to move everything over finicky Unity menus. So usually it's faster just to pause and unpause and let the game play out. So let's actually press the space bar and jump and then land. There we go. You also notice that I am pausing and unpausing at the end of levels. This is because there's a setting in Unity that affects time dilation. And when you hit the end of a level, to get that slowdown effect, time slows down. The problem is it's not reset till it loads the next scene. Which means that if you have a load screen or anything, it takes an extra like 10 seconds to transition between levels. All right, this time for the second boss. This boss, like I said, has an easy setup. There we go. This is the setup for the boss. What the bosses do is they check on collision to see if they should hit you or not. So you collide, and then you stay collided, and it's never going to check again. This is the one boss that is not a one-shot. The regular cats like this are, but he has much more HP and will not one-shot us as a result. It's also a very difficult fight your first time through, because it's actually kind of a DPS race, because you're not faster than them. You're a little faster than them, so you can get away from them, but essentially you jump up the walls, get hit, and move back and forth. But you can only hit from the right, so it's actually very difficult. All right. This is the glass world. The glass people hate non-glass people, I believe, or non-plate people. This world's got some problems. We'll see in a bit. It's got hot jams, though, which is all I care about. I actually love the glass in that it's really easy to do wall jumps, and you really get some movement out of it. Okay, this is the first death plane, I believe, that's not like for a normal pit. So if I was not, if I moved it at all to the right there, I would die. And that's problem. Oh god, I hit the flag again. I've never hit it twice. Those death plans are going to come into play now. Now that the author has realized that you can just go everywhere you want, and as a result, more death plans are popping into the game, and they are there to stop you from glitching out and skipping things. So this is my favorite level. Oh, I can't. I got physics triggered on this guy. Well, let's just let him die. We can watch the FPS recover. So something about this game is not optimized. Can't tell you what it is. It's probably the cup enemies, but we're supposed to push a box here and then jump on that box later. But instead, we're just going to go to the end of the level. This one's funny because you don't even have to, like, there's not even anything fancy to skipping it. You just go down the hole and you can just reach the end. The level also takes a really long time to load, and to load the next level as well. All the glass levels take forever to load. I think it's because they're using the Minecraft window tile set, and it's just some weird HD Minecraft texture pack. I love this game. This is my favorite game. Okay, time for me to get my hands back up instead of ranting about Minecraft HD texture packs. It might be Terraria, I forget. It's one of those. I don't play those games, so. All right, next boss setup. We can relax. We got some lazy ska, I guess, reggaeton. And then we get the boss right above us. She does her dance. We're now in her hitbox. And then she doesn't have any other move she can take. You can headbutt too. This is every boss fight game. There will be some slight variations, but the bosses in this game, they got some problems. I do love how strong. I mean, the Crackdoll robot is the same person. She just keeps on coming back and really just hasn't given up. So like, very strong relationship. I'd love to have a partner that will fight a giant robot against a baby coyote, despite its frequent defeat. Okay, time for the spooky levels. This will wake me right up. Actually, it does, because I always forget about that first ghost, because it's right there. So this is why I like this game. There's a lot of choices that are almost more cinematic. Like, this is the creepy level, so it gets creepy audio and creepy music. But the thing is, the music is so quiet, you can't really hear anything. It's there, it's really quiet, and nope, you're not allowed to really hear it. There's this one sound that gets made where it's like a dramatic, it's supposed to be like dramatic middle point of the song, and I always forget that this level has music until it plays there. So this is actually a global timer level, and there's a couple of them. This is the one where it's really relevant, though. There's a whole lot of ghosts at the end of the stage, and there's no skips. There's too many death planes. We've looked. That's right, we, not just me. And the problem with trying to get to the ending is if you go too slowly, there's a wall of ghosts that will murder you, which for the speedrun isn't too much of a problem. You just have to get through the level quickly. And then for your first time through, it's a huge problem because it's really easy to find yourself suddenly being chased by a giant wall of ghosts and then just immediately dying because they have an actual... most enemies have a physical hitbox, like they will push you around. So these ghosts, yeah, that's messed up. If you're not on that little ramp right there, it's very hard to get to them, and they will also misalign quite often, and the ghosts at the bottom will be too far in to jump up the wall. All right, we have I'd say this is called the trick, probably the hard trick of the run. I also never realized those ghosts were supposed to be like chasing you at the beginning and like hurt you. That's very funny. There's a lot of enemies here, and this is what you start to notice on a lot of levels is spamming the attack actually gets kind of difficult because you're there too quickly to actually capitalize on it. Like the enemies don't die, but they do get pushed around, and it's unpredictable, and the physics are pretty dangerous. So there's a whole maze here. It's fairly lengthy and not particularly fast. It's actually got a little bit of danger, so I'm gonna try and skip it. I'm not great at this skipping. Oh, there we go. Okay. it's very inconsistent, because what happens is as you're falling from the platform, you actually, as the platform lowers, you're actually falling, and because that can vary depending on when you land on the platform, it's very easy to not get that skip because you have just a little bit too much movement. That thing's hard though. That's an actual hard skip. That's one of those like, hey, this is a real speedrun moment, because if you mess up, you have to wait for that platform to return, and like I'm actually impressed with myself. Something I've been a little bit lazy about, because it really, there's not a huge time difference, is you can save and quit out of levels, certain levels. It's usually the end of the world. So that last level though, you have to wait for the level to transition. You cannot skip that level. And that's because we just skipped a level. Like I said, the ending of the level is going to be important for one stage, and this is the one. Or it was the last one, I guess. But that transition is important for this level. What happens is every end of stage is set to take you to, it does two things primarily. It takes you to, it says, okay, you've completed this level, and then it says, okay, you go to this next level. Unless it's the end of the chapter, then it just kicks you out to the level select. The problem is the last level we beat did not do that correctly. It said we beat that level, which is true, but then it sent us to this level. This is actually not the next level. The next level is a boss fight that is awful. It's the only boss fight I dislike in this game. Oh, I'm not taking any risks because I'd have to do the next level or do something funky to get back here. So it misdirects you. I did not know there was a ghost boss fight for a very long time. Oh, this is also another crate level. The way you do this one is you can just jump off the ground that was set for the crate. You can kind of see it in the water. It's a little difficult to see, but I'm also very careful about this because I don't want to die. Okay, there we go. So we just skipped the ghost boss fight. I would never show it off, quite frankly. It's not very good. It just takes forever because the ghost is far away and your very few shots hit it, and it takes a long time to die. There's already enough boss fights that honestly, oversee, they're welcome. Not gonna bring another one up. Okay. So this is the epic ascent to Fat Cat's blimp and his blimp hanger. I love the tone of this game. I love what they're trying. It's super dramatic. The music is so powerful here. Baby Coyote's got this long, daunting journey, and by God, he's gonna do it. Yeah, I don't know, I love it. Also, if you go here too quickly, you miss a cycle. It's actually very hard to get the good cycle. Like, it's unreliable to get the good cycle there. So I'm gonna show off what I think is fun tech, but it's inconsistent and quite, you know, kind of worth it. There you go, you can do that. The reason it's kind of worth it is that to actually get a lot of distance, and you have to kind of get there slowly. So it's not really worth it. You can just jump off the wall. All right. So we are now on our way to Fat Cat's blimp and his blimp hanger. And this is my favorite trick in the run. It's relatively easy to set up. Let's see if I get it. I've started second guessing myself and messing up this trick. Oh my God. That's not what's supposed to happen. I forgot quit level. I always forget quit level doesn't do anything. That's really hard to do, to mess up the trick like that. It's actually, you have to very specifically position in the worst way possible. So yeah, I need to hit this mushroom like this, hit here, and then hold right on the way up. This should be good. You can fire our attack here. Like I said, there's no cap on the mushroom speed. Oh! No, I was too slow. This is ultimate jokes. I'm gonna blame this on me saying I can do a run at 8 o'clock in the morning. I said I could do a run at 6 o'clock in the morning. I changed the schedule, which was very nice of Big Bad Game-a-thon. And I can't do a run at 8 o'clock in the morning. That was a huge lie. I don't even wake up at 8 o'clock for work. I wake up at 8:50, I roll over and turn on the computer. All right, hopefully I can get this. I don't know how to do this level besides doing this trick. Okay, there we go. Imagine how cool that would have been if I had done that the first time instead of making 2 unique mistakes. And the funny part about this is you have to wait for the next platform anyways. So what happens is that platform is it's the global level timer. When you do this level normally, and I never have, you're supposed to follow that platform from the beginning to the end. The problem is that takes a super long time, and it's not fun or fast. So instead, you can do that setup, and even with 2 failures, that is significantly faster than doing the level normally. So go ahead, set up this jump, and then I'll do 1 more just to be safe. So I love that. I love that skip. So the pause unpause technology I mentioned before, super duper important right there. If you don't pause and unpause before loading this cutscene takes about 30 seconds to load. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do this boss fight. This boss fight is very fun. This is actually the part that takes a long time to load. It's awful. So this boss fight's very hard. You move to the left, and that's about it. Because of the movement of the cat and the immunity the bosses and enemies have for repeated attacks, can't really go any faster because he moves into your attacks. So try to like jump up and hit him from angles. Just the timer is synced almost perfectly so that it doesn't actually matter at all. I've tried lots of stuff. I'll say this to my left, that's a hole. So the first thing everybody does when they get to this boss is they go, oh, he's attacking me, I should go to the left. And then they go to the left, and they die, and then they have to do that level again. Which means if you don't have the setup for the trick, you kind of flounder a bit, and it's very funny. So I just casually, yeah, I vibe, I relax here. This is, I believe, the last traditional boss fight. I don't trust anything about myself anymore. I've been making too many mistakes. I guess to talk about the plot very briefly, essentially we are on a vacation, I believe, and we go to Craft Island, which is a representation of the Turks and Caicos Islands. And because we hear about Fat Cat's plan, like essentially we start walking around, then we start hearing more about Fat Cat's plans. Then General Warhog starts looking for support. We start helping him out, and look at his eyebrows. His eyebrows are really funny. I just MS Paint eyebrows on an actual captain uniform. We get my favorite cutscene. We got some cool animations. And we're getting close to what would be the traditional end of the game. If you're going for just time, you can't skip that cutscene. I never skip that cutscene, because skipping that cutscene is for cowards. So this is, I'd say, the second to last level. If you don't know, cool tricks. Cool tricks are probably not really tricks, to be quite honest, but we'll see. And so this is one of my favorite tracks because it's a song we've heard before, but kind of muted. Like, oh wow, don't jump like that. Like they tried to put the audio, or like try to make this an audio only version, but the result is kind of funky. Like it's very clearly cutting out the voice. Okay, so first of all, that moon there, it has collision, and that's a problem. In the background, it will hit you. You will die if you try and do this level normally. So instead, we jump up here. But like, there's cool parallax on the Earth. Actually, I don't know what that is. I think it's the Earth or the Moon or something. So if you try and do this section normally, it will actually hit you when it syncs up with you, and you will die. I don't know how to beat the level normally. I only know how to beat the level doing that jump. As far as I can tell, normally is impossible. And now we're at the traditional final level. We will be doing. I think I submitted full game. I love this song. Somebody's Got Your Girlfriend. I forgot how often he says it, so I said that too early. I love that line. That's such a good line. So this extremely zoomed out level has an unfortunate design quirk, will be the polite way of saying this. Which is, well, like I said, more death planes started appearing in the game. when you start getting the later levels. The last one we did actually had a ton of them, and we just kind of had to navigate them to not die. And the problem is sometimes some of them are at the end of a teleporter, and you just instantly die. So this is where our good friend, Registry Editor comes into play. And you change this value from 11 to 12, and then you go to level select, and wow, we beat This Isn't a Craft, and we can start Welcome to Craft Kingdom. And that's the strat. That's how you can see the full Baby Coyote gameplay experience. There is no other known way. There's too many death planes in that last level. There's not enough options. You have to or you cannot see the game. I don't think there's any other, unless this game gets updated, which I would personally, I'd be okay with. You know, I don't want anything changed except seeing that full level. That's the only change I want. Yeah, unless you do that, you cannot play the full game. Okay, so this level, okay, by the way, you can get caught on the ground. You've probably seen this happen a couple times. It's very annoying. But this level is really just kind of one skip that we'll see if I mess up or not. So first you go up here. This is the easy part. It stops a whole bunch of annoying platforming, and then at the very end, you have to get a pretty good jump. This is actually kind of also a difficult trick. I think I got it. Okay, so yeah, at the end of the platforming section that you skip, there's two enemies. It's the one-shot enemies. We're about to see a lot of those, and they take forever to get through normally. So you have to jump, but you can't just do a regular jump. You have to do an air jump to get over them. Their hitboxes are massive. It goes well past their sword. And it's fun to get this up on the first try. That skip's actually, there's a setup, once you see the end of the platform, you essentially start matching jump, and it usually works out, but, you know, it's scary. It's a scary trick. So this is the penultimate level. It's supposed to be the kind of like the epic combat, but the problem is, there's just a lot of nothing, for the most part, because our time gates are essentially the warrior cats. So I'll toss the bombs around. I just need to kill them at some point, but really my goal is to try and keep shots consistently on those guys. So it is possible to die to normal enemies in this level. It's not super common, but you know, you have to be very aware of that. Taking a hit every now and then is okay. And like I said, we see a lot of these guys here. This is unfortunately trying to be a little bit more epic, and it does not have any music as a result, I think, so we can focus on the atmosphere and the excitement. And it's sad because I think this could use a hot jungle or a hot island beat. All right. There's more to go, and they don't really get faster either. There'll be one cool moment where we can do a lot of speed tech at once. But aside from that, not only do we have this enemy here, we're actually on a bit of a timer. And the timer really can't be accelerated all that much. It's not this one, don't worry. This is my favorite of the guys. You can stand on this platform. I'm always nervous about doing it. This little staircase at the edge, because you actually slide off of it. So I prefer just to stay on the platform and, you know, kind of relax a bit. Because we're waiting for a different timer anyways. Oh, I'm not gonna miss it, am I? No, I'm good. So because we're waiting for this timer anyways, it doesn't really matter if we get there right on time, as long as we catch it. So we get this guy. I love this guy. This guy's my favorite. But I'm gonna do something a little bit different instead of fighting this guy normally, which is very easy. Those boxes come in like a level or two ago. They don't really get explained or do anything. I don't know why they're there. I think they're evil robots, I guess. So we're just gonna do this one more time. And there should be either no or enemies dying as we get there. There we go, there's one of them. And what happened is, those cats are on a different level than each other. So as we're fighting that box, we can actually hit the cats. So, there you go. We don't have to kill the cats anymore. We don't have to wait through, I think there's 3 total to fight, which is awful. I don't like this. I love this game. I have a great time with this game. I think the speed tech is fun. I think there's a lot of heart and soul. Don't like that last level. That's the one where I'll argue against. So we've entered Fat Cat's castle. It is weirdly empty. Could this be a trap? Could this be some theme setting? Some emotional beats? Yeah, sure, why not? This last little section, I think, it's kind of encapsulates all of Baby Coyote platforming. You have walls that you'll get stuck in, staircases that are a little bit too high, so you'll get caught on them. There's like little skips you can do, but quite often the fastest way is just to mash space by going through the normal path. But yeah, so we're about to get to the final boss. I'll be a little bit over time. I think one death too many, unfortunately. But the final boss is pretty relaxed. It's honestly it's my favorite because you can tell the developer learned about boss design, about boss mechanics. You know, it's not the best. There's some issues with it, but it's an improvement. I love the crown. I love the descending. I love the dramatic music, and I've got the Dark Kitty transformation. Mandy is the name of the cat girlfriend robot, by the way. So this is the final boss, and we got 2 bosses. Holy moly, what could this mean? Well, we don't just have 2 bosses. We actually have a mechanic we have not seen up until this point. That's right. The boss can take hits without being on cooldown. It's hard to mash and talk. So usually this last one gets the job done. And oh, that's time. Oh, I did get under time. Cool, go me! Hooray! So yeah, that's Baby Coyote. That's the final boss at the very end. The final epic conclusion. It's faster than every other boss fight because the boss doesn't have a damage invincibility, and it's awesome. I'll let the ending play out. He's got a computer to hack, so it turns into the Matrix. I don't know. I think the plot is fine. The world's been saved. General Warthog and a very just happy Baby Coyote did it. Just really do enjoy the uwu face from the coyote in this screen. And then he's gone. We cannot no longer see Baby Coyote. I'm not sure how we're doing schedule-wise. If you want to try and if you want to watch some of the credits or not, see the end of the plot. You can't skip through the text. It's not possible. It's all timed, and it's differently timed depending on the screen. Sometimes it's really fast, and you can't read the text. But I'll let this roll for a bit, and then. If Big Bad Game-a-thon staff want to go ahead and set it for the next game, let me know.